What's going on, everyone? Ains here, Season Gaming, and today we've got another statue unboxing and review for you. As you can see in front of you, we're going to be looking at the PureArts Dark Souls 3 Pontiff Sulyvahn statue. It is one I've been waiting on for a while. It is a big deluxe statue, nearly 3 feet tall, and I'm really excited to get into it. Love Dark Souls, love Elden Ring, and a lot of my gaming room is going to be related to those franchises. So before I get started real quick, you can see I'm in another new place as we look at this statue, and that's because I continue to kind of move things all over my game room, and it's quite frankly a mess in here right now. I'm almost there. We've got things starting to get organized, but this is kind of a makeshift setup just for this video. Hopefully once we're completely done, I'll have kind of a set place where every statue review will be standardized and a little more formal, if you will. But regardless, thanks for tuning in as always, and we'll go ahead and I'll give you the details on this one. So, like I said, this is from PureArts. It is a deluxe edition statue, and the interesting thing about this one is you can buy the standard Pontiff statue as it stands. It's about 2 feet tall or so, for $900, and they make 1,500 of those, and that's what you see right here. That's in this box here. Now, what the Deluxe Edition does, especially obviously if you've played Dark Souls 3 and know the battle with Pontiff, is he basically creates a replica of himself, a spirit version of himself, that you have to battle both of them at the same time. And what PureArts has done in a rather unique fashion is they've created a second kind of colorized spirit version of Pontiff that stands and attaches to the first statue above him, and creates kind of the specter from the game. So if you get the Deluxe Edition, you get both. This ramps it up to $1,800. It's not cheap. And they only made 750 of these, of which I have number 139 apparently. So this 900, 1,500 pieces. If you want the Deluxe, they made half of them at 750, but it costs you double at 1,800 total. Now with tax and shipping, you can just put your math together. It's quite an expensive statue, but when this is complete, it supposedly stands somewhere in the realm of 50-ish pounds and nearly 3 feet tall, like I said. So I think, looking around the room, if you watch my Doomslayer statue, that thing is out of control. That thing's 3.5, nearly 4 feet tall. But this will be the second biggest statue I have, and I have actually a special place behind the camera there already set up, ready for this. So, enough talking out of me. Let's go ahead and get into this. I'm going to open the core statue to begin with, so if you're someone who's just looking to get just the normal Pontiff statue by itself, we can see what that looks like, and then we'll take a look at the Deluxe Edition. Let me go ahead and get this process started as always, and I will come back to you once I get things opened up. Okay, so we've got the booklet here on how to put things together. Now, PureArts, this is I think my second or third statue from PureArts, and I am an affiliate with them, by the way, so take a look below in the comment section if you plan on ordering a statue from them. Use my code. I believe it saves you some money, gets me some money, gets a referral, so we can help each other out. But anyway, they use these nice little Velcro straps that go in the box, which makes it very easy to lift out, and it's a lot cleaner than wrapping tape around the whole thing. So I wish other statue companies, excuse the sound here, I wish other statue companies would do that because it makes it a lot easier. And as you can see, instead of using a knife to cut everything apart, you just do that. Prime one, I'm looking at you because some of yours are a pain in the butt. Okay, so this, like I said, this is going to be the core Pontiff statue. And as always in my reviews, we'll start with the main mold. I like to look at the quality of the main mold. It tells me a lot around, you know, how the statue is going to look in comparison to kind of other expensive pieces. So I want to be careful here because this seems to be giving me some resistance. Okay, he's just got an extra piece of foam here at the bottom, probably, so his kind of robe doesn't break here. There we go. Okay. So core mold looks to be, what's that, maybe 1.5 feet, maybe 16, 18 inches tall. Nice paint work on the robe. His skin looks rather creepy. It's all decrepit looking, as is his face, which is kind of what you expect. You've got kind of his jewelry and mail here as well. The mail looks really good. It would have been really cool as a touch, especially for this price, if the jewelry here was actual metal, you know, something that hung. A lot of the expensive Prime 1 statues have done that now, and you can see in my recent videos. But regardless, the look of it and kind of how it fits the mold is well done. So pretty solid start so far. I don't know how many pieces are actually in this kind of core mold. As you can see, there's a bottom here too, which is probably the base. So let's go ahead and get most of these out. The rest of his robe. Yeah, there's several pieces here and a few other things. Let me go ahead and get everything out of here, and then I'll come back to you and we can talk more about it. Okay, we got the core pieces out of the box now. We've got this nice Pontiff Sulyvahn number 139 official card from PureArts. I like that they do that with each statue to show that it's authentic. And then of course you've got the base here. It is a pretty heavy base as you would expect for a statue of this size. As you can see, Boss Collection number 2. They did Yorm as well. 139 out of 750 of the Deluxe Edition. So a couple things to note is that there are few small things hiding in the crevices of this box, so if you are getting one of these and unboxing it, make sure you're checking everything. Also, kind of my luck with statues lately is within there is his little crown here that you put on, and it's got this little kind of mesh thing that you couldn't see in the crevice because it had foam on top of it. So I reached down to grab it, not knowing what it was, and one of the little kind of threads broke off just a little bit, so I'm gonna have to super glue that back on. But so be careful when you're pulling these pieces out. Couple things of note. So he's got the rest of his robes here, he's got the back, and we'll put this all together in a second. But here are his two swords. This is the, if I remember correctly, the Great Sword of Judgment, I believe, which already looks cool, you know. And then there's this amazing Profane Greatsword, I believe it is, which is, as you can see, is not only huge, but all kind of fire and has a really nice kind of luminescence to it. So both of these plug into the statue and then light up via LED. And the place where I'm going to be putting the statue, I'll be able to turn this on and off at will, which I don't usually do with my statues, but this one's just going to look too cool not to. So let me go ahead and piece this core one together, and then I'll show you what the finished product looks like. Okay, so as you can see, I started the pieces together in the core thing, and then instructions actually dictate that you need to start by putting on his spirit form at the back, and then you build around it. So this is going to be a unique kind of build to put together. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the pieces out of this other box, get things set up here, and then I'll come back, show you what it looks like, and of course I'll do what I usually do, which is to bring it in close and show you some of the detail. So, be right back. Alright, I'm back. And safe to say, I misjudged what the statue design was all about. So as you can see before you, I seem to be holding a small child. I've got all the pieces out now. Now the second Pontiff, or the spirit version that goes behind him, I thought, going into this, that it attached on his back as kind of like a, you know, arch thing, if you will. As you can see, it does not. It actually has a separate mold that is at least 2.5 feet tall, probably closer to 3 feet tall, that goes behind. So it actually goes on the back of the statue like this, over top of the main Pontiff statue, which is incredibly impressive. And it actually comes with, you know, gigantic robes that are going to drape all the way down. So this, as expected, I knew it was going to be big. I guess I kind of underestimated the size I was talking about because this is huge. There is one major problem out of the gate, which disappoints me, and I had a run there where I had a couple statues that had issues, and I've been safe for the last several. This one, not so much. So I don't know if you can see it. I'll bring it up close and show you. But right here in the center of his chest is a white spot. And what that is, that's not foam or anything else. That is actually the paint from this mold coming off. So whatever they use to do this kind of black charred look or purplish look is not applied very well. And it's coming off on my hands while I'm touching it, so you can see it getting bigger. That's a problem, especially for an $1,800 statue. So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting this together, give you the full detail and look around of it. What I'm going to do is reach out to PureArts. I don't know, because of the shipping on these things, the limited edition, all these other aspects of these giant statues, I don't know if they'll offer me a replacement, a refund. You know, I really don't want to ship this back. That's really a pain in the butt. So we'll see what happens. I'll update this in the comments when I get an answer. But for now, I just need people to know that's a shame. It's a shame that the paint application there is poor. I don't know if it's just this one and I got unlucky, or if it's going to be kind of all of them. So if you are someone who's getting one of these statues, let me know and we'll see what happens. But otherwise, this mold's crazy. So let me go ahead and finish putting this together, and then we'll talk through the whole thing. Alright, we're back, and as you can see in front of you, I've got the statue all together, and I don't want to mince words here. The quality control on this statue is atrocious. I have now, I want to say, over 30 statues. Obviously, if you follow the channel, I've been doing this a long time. A lot of different builds, a lot of different companies, a lot of different sizes of statues. I have not encountered a statue that has worse quality control than this statue right here. And, you know, I said I'm an affiliate earlier. If you follow me, you follow the channel, you know I'm never trying to sell you anything, and I'm not, you know, even being an affiliate, I'm not doing that. So I'm going to be extremely blunt here and say that if I knew what I knew now, there's no way in hell I would spend $1,800 on the statue. It obviously you don't know because I cut the camera away. It has been over an hour since I last cut the camera to put this thing together. I'll be very clear and say nothing fits. Nothing fits properly on the statue. Nothing. I'm not mincing words. Each of these kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, wings or what have you, don't fit properly. I had to kind of force them in, adjust things, etc. This sword right here, there's a magnet at the end of this handle that goes in. You might not be able to see it. I'll bring the camera in closer in a minute to show you the detail, because there are some good details to the statue. And as you can see, as a whole piece, it looks amazing. It really does. It looks just like, you know, I hoped it would. But the magnet here, it doesn't go all the way in, so there's a gap on this sword. This sword fits so poorly that the connector that goes into his chest that has the LED kind of magnet on it that would light it up doesn't go all the way in. It won't even light up. So I'd have to really carve down myself the connector to go in there and try to make that work and fit properly. And because that doesn't fit properly, this arm connector here, you plug this arm in with a magnet, and this handle all don't fit properly either. In fact, you can see the arm's kind of bent, and you can see the joint right there. Neither of the crowns fit properly. They are not really flexible. As I said earlier, one of the little pieces broke off the top here, so if you want to get them to sit properly on top, you got to try and force it. You may crack it. I don't know. Right now they're just kind of sitting there, but they're not in the ring that they're supposed to be. I could go on and on. Like I said, the wings on this one don't fit properly either. They were a pain in the butt. The cloak that comes over top here of this guy didn't fit properly, and it's kind of had to, I've kind of had to, I don't know, rig it to make it look kind of acceptable. The same goes for this one. So I could go on and on. I'm pretty frustrated at the fact that, you know, like I said, a lot of statues. We did Doomslayer recently. It's a 3.5, 4 foot statue with gigantic pieces and different plugins. Everything just pops, slots right in. Not Atreus. Well, Atreus and Kratos, that's another statue I did. But Aloy and Jin and Eileen and the Bioshock statues, all the ones I've done, you know, there's been a few niggling things here and there, but for the most part, things just fit together as they should, because you're paying a lot of money for these molds. And they should not be as poor fitting as this. On top of that, I already pointed out the paint issue on this mold here, which is now kind of hidden because of his cloak. As I was kind of putting this together, there were other paint issues. And I will show you those as I bring the camera in. So I've kind of ranted enough now. I don't want to waste too much time talking about it. But like I said, quality control, terrible. And I'm going to be reaching out to PureArts later today to talk to them about what can be done. Trying to box this back up and ship it back would be a nightmare. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'll figure it out. But let me go ahead and bring the camera in. I'll talk about some of the nice details in the statue, but I'll also point out some of the things, you know, that are questionable for the price tag. Okay, because of the height of this statue, you know, it's kind of hard to give you a full picture of it and everything, but I'm going to take some highly detailed pictures, which will come right at the tail end of the video. You can see some up-close stuff. So as I said, let's talk about the nice things. The base, he is on the stone of the chapel, and there's the kind of red, carpeting or flooring basically with the emblems and everything that he's walking on, which is right out of the game, which is awesome. The actual details on the robe, kind of the general texture look of the robe is really strong, as is his skin. He's decrepit, right? And decaying, and that looks really good as well. The paint's pretty solid there. The kind of detail, the coloring, the paint on the handles of the swords is really nice. And if you look up here on this guy, the phantasm, whatever word we want to use, his sword and the other sword are kind of fluorescent, so you can see through them. They shimmer through the light, which is really cool. I like that a lot. The male look, like I already said, on kind of the mold itself is really strong. The same goes for this one here. The robe and all the details are really good. Obviously, he doesn't have the same jewelry and everything. The one thing I would say is that, they replicated basically the cloak and the jewelry and stuff of this one into this kind of fluorescent clear look. This isn't that great. You can tell it's just plastic. It could be something better. I don't know what to get that kind of fluorescent look. Kind of same goes for these wings. They're like a clear purple plastic with some black paint on them, and they, if you stand back and look at it, it gives you a nice image, but in terms of the actual quality of the material, it's not great. Other than that, the mold's really nice. I talked about some paint issues. It's going to be really hard to show you. I will put it in the picture because this base, and now that he's built, is extremely heavy. I don't know exactly how heavy it is, but it's definitely heavier than the 35 whatever pounds they put on the box. So it looks like, looking at the boxes right behind the camera here, looks like combined it's about 30 kilos, so you're probably looking at about a 70-pound statue or something like that. It's heavy, so I'm going to have to move him around. But on the cloak here, some of the coloring here is basically just rubbed off. Like, it's got white blotches here, very similar to up here, where the paint just didn't seal properly to the resin. And, it doesn't look great. Not for the price you're paying. If this was like a $200 or $300 piece, you could usually forgive a little paint errors, stuff like that. But I've seen $400 and $500 pieces that have better quality on some pieces than this one, and that just shouldn't be the case. Even if you buy just the normal Pontiff here, just this one at $800, for the size of this at $800, you should expect a lot. And this does not compare favorably to the other statues in that price range for the size that I've reviewed. It just doesn't. So I know PureArts is trying to get into the kind of the higher end statue game, kind of competing with Prime 1, and I know First 4 does a few kind of slightly higher end ones. It's really Prime 1 in the gaming space with their premium Ultra Master line, ones. But those, I've done a lot of those, and when you compare price to price, this just isn't there. It's just not. So I'm happy in terms of what the entire display looks like and what I'll be able to do with it from a display perspective in the gaming room. Yeah, this is, it's got a lot of cool features, but man, they've got up the quality control. They have to. It's just, they're not going to be able to sell these statues at this price with this level of quality control. It's not going to work. So anyway, I have rambled enough. This has been one of the longer videos, but I just wanted to get across, what was going on with this thing. I never want to make it out like the statue's amazing and perfect. If it's not, I'm always going to tell you the truth here. So there you go. That is the Pontiff Sulyvahn statue, 1:7 scale. Now I call it 1:7 scale, which sounds small, but obviously, the Souls figures are very big in game, or enemies. And I gave you the details at the top of the video. So as always, thank you for supporting Season Gaming. We've recently, as I do this video, introduced channel memberships. If you like all the content we were previously doing on Patreon, so interviews, features, exclusives, things like that, extra podcast roundtables, early access to those, and along with some of emojis and other things, fun things you can use on our live streams. Check it out. You can support us at either $1.99 a month or $4.99 a month, and goes a long way to just helping us do content like this and get frustrated over some statues that cost more than they should. So anyway, thank you as always for tuning in, and I've got more statues on the way, of course, and hopefully see you soon. Till then.